All right.
Hey, okay, we don't have an intro yet. I realized.
No.
We should probably figure that out at some point.
Yeah, we'll figure out an intro.
Podcast number 2.
This is our second one. So this is the episode 2 of the Talk Nerdy to Me podcast. As always, I'm Alex Snook.
I'm Kirk Stuckless.
And today, of course, big news. So we're recording this on Thursday. This won't be live until Monday, but Samsung event today, Samsung Unpacked. So Note 9, of course, big deal. And a lot of people figured that it was kind of under or not as valued as some other phones because it wasn't a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
Right.
I've heard a lot of hype for it, but at the same time, not quite as much as like the iPhone 10 hype type.
Yeah,
thing.
like the biggest thing that I took away from watching that event was just the S Pen, like the new S Pen for the phone. And I know there were some other things too that they announced, and they have a new partnership with Spotify. They're trying to focus a little more on gaming when there's going to be Galaxy phones are going to be the first phones that Fortnite is coming to, right? First, or Android phones at least.
Yeah, first Android, which is crazy. Now they're doing like manufacturer specific release dates.
That's which is kind of annoying too.
It is,
right? But it is what it is.
I mean, it kind of already was a thing, but like there's Apple and then there's the rest of Android, but now there's Apple, Samsung, and the rest of Android.
Yeah, and it was always because the apps, it wasn't like that, because it was always that Android itself, of course, rolled out to different devices at different times because the individual manufacturers would, put their skins on it and make their tweaks to Android before they actually released it.
But never for games. So
this is a new thing. So we'll see how this works out. I don't think this will be very long before Fortnite rolls out to all of Android, right? I think this is kind of just a thing that Samsung did to try to bring people to it, and within a month probably you'll see it everywhere. Yeah,
for sure. It's kind of like separating themselves from the rest of everybody.
Especially with some of those actual like proper gaming phones that are out there now, like with the Razer phone, and there's a new Asus one that I don't think it's actually out yet, but it's... Yeah,
I mean, you know what? Honestly, if Fortnite would accept controller support, which I know they've said is coming at some point, it'd be pretty awesome.
That would actually be pretty crazy. If you
it would
link your controller up to your phone and play.
The amount of time I spend on a plane, that would be fantastic. I could see that being really
in that
useful.
situation. Then you just want to switch.
That's true.
But you also can't play. You also wouldn't be able to play it on a plane because you'd never have fast enough Wi-Fi on a plane.
I also don't. That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Right. True.
The whole online gaming thing doesn't really work when you're on a plane.
Yeah. Okay. I no longer care.
Yeah, you can get Wi-Fi, just not that fast.
Yeah.
Other things from the event though, like I said, the S Pen was the biggest thing that I really took away from the actual phone, from the new phone. Just with the button on it, so you can use that. It's mapped to like a whole bunch of different things. Biggest thing is like the camera, so you can use that as a remote shutter for the camera. So that's really neat. That's kind of the biggest thing I took away from
my original Note. The only thing I liked about it was the S Pen.
Yeah.
Everything else.
And obviously it's a big thing, and there's a lot of people who absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Right?
For work, it's great. I mean, my work phone now is a 7, but prior to that, they were using Note 3s. So I mean, I'm just gonna plug that at my office. Let's get us some new Notes.
Some new Note 9s.
Note 9s.
Yeah.
Great upgrade.
I mean, they've got the same camera setup essentially as the S9 did, with the dual cameras now. It's about time to jump on board with that, and the variable aperture camera lens too. So like, they're hopping on board with a whole bunch of other stuff that they've already had, like in the S9, but there wasn't any big upgrades to Samsung phones as a whole.
No.
I found.
I find like lately the biggest jump to a new phone is always the camera. Like, other than that, specs are very, it's like, I don't really care about anything else, but is the camera good? And is the I was gonna say the iOS, but the OS, if that's good, then so.
I mean, the OS, you look at it, and I mean, Samsung has its following, and it's not bad. But then, obviously, you have iOS.
Yeah.
You have Android, like pure Android on a Google Pixel.
Yep.
And then you've got like the very minimal skins on.
Like Motorola's have very minimal.
Yeah, Motorola, OnePlus. Just some companies like that.
Huawei makes a bunch.
There's a whole bunch like that, right?
Yeah.
So those are always...
is better than it was, at least. So.
Yeah. Also from that event, Samsung announced a couple other things. Galaxy Watch, so they're really trying to compete there, where Apple is absolutely dominated. We kind of talked about this last week, actually.
Yeah, there's no competition.
Like, there's no competition in that area at all, and Samsung actually looks like this could be have good potential, this watch.
Yeah.
But they never really dove really deep into a lot of the specifics on it, so we'll have to see now when it's released exactly how deep it goes and like can they really compete in this space, right? That'll be really interesting to see. But I mean, they've got like thousands of watch faces that you can use. It's focused on health and fitness like all the other ones.
I think their biggest thing is their price point. If they can come in at a lower price point than what Apple's retailing for, then they'll have a good strong case.
Yeah. Well, I think the interesting thing too is I can't remember seeing it actually, but I'm assuming it's running on Android Wear. I assume that's what they're doing. Yeah. And in which case, it will actually work with iPhones as well.
Well, yeah,
right?
exactly.
And that's the difference between that and an Apple Watch. An Apple Watch only works with an iPhone, right?
I would definitely feel more compelled to get something with Android Wear that was good, just because I have two phones. Yeah. I can sync it up to my work phone and I can sync it up to my personal phone.
Yeah, if you can actually sync it to both, that would be...
that'd be a feature I'd actually look for. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, it would mean the difference of me having to walk around with the Bluetooth headset when I'm working and just have a watch on my arm, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
So, it would be
last big thing was the new Galaxy speaker, or I'm sure everyone's just going to call it the Bixby speaker because that's what everyone expected, right?
Yeah, Bixby speaker.
Bixby is trash, as everyone knows.
Yep.
Samsung tries to deny it, but there's no denying it. It sucks.
I mean, like, there's Bixby, and then there's also, like, I could just use Google.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. On a Samsung phone, you're using Android, you can use Google Assistant built right into it, right? Why would you choose Bixby when Google Assistant is right there? Google Assistant is proven to be the best one of them all.
It is. When I was running or using my S8, like, I'd swipe left or right, and then all this Bixby stuff would be open. I don't think I ever once really looked into it. I've never used Bixby, like, very minimally, and always using Google Assistant.
Yeah. I always find I'm like that with Siri though. Like I don't use Siri very often myself. And I know a lot of people really do.
Yeah, I use it for driving.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, when I'm in the car, like my car's got Apple CarPlay, so I'm lucky in that case where everything just syncs up and it's right through my whole digital dash in my car. So it's really easy to be able to just push a button and just say, Siri, send a text message to whoever, call whoever, right? And it's really simple in that way.
I actually use my Google Home Mini in my room more for voice controls with Google Assistant, telling it to set alarms or like play music, text people, or broadcast, tell all my roommates to shut up. That's always the funnest one. But yeah, no, I use it more when I'm like in bed. But on my phone, I don't think I would really use it other than in the car.
No, I'll be interested to see like. I can't say I don't think it'll be too long before I end up getting some sort of smart speaker. I haven't taken the leap just because I haven't really had...
I've got two and I'm looking for more.
Yeah, I haven't had that much interest in grabbing a Home Mini or an Alexa or an Echo Dot. Just something small like that. Yeah. I've thought about getting something like that, just haven't jumped into it. But of course, being in the Apple ecosystem a lot, just looked at the HomePod as an option. And I think at some point I will go on to get that, but it's just right now I just don't see the whole like how much benefit it's going to offer me. I think the biggest one is for me with the HomePod is actually the speaker part of it itself, right? Just to listen to music.
We use ours all the time. So there's I think 4 minis in my household. So and if we're all hanging out, all my roommates, then every room you go to, the music is playing. Like it's great. You can just set up your little area and you never have to bring your speaker around, which is what we were doing before. We had a little Bose speaker that we'd carry around wherever we went, but it's good. It's the type of thing where like I didn't buy my first one, I got it for Christmas, and then I've used it almost daily ever since. So it was a good, it's so good that I bought a second one actually, but I bought that on sale too, so $40 is not bad for a smart speaker.
That's the thing too, that's like it actually has a lot more functionality than just a little speaker, right?
Yep.
So like, and that's the thing, I know those little ones aren't really great for music, but of course they'll play your music.
Yeah.
And they have all that other functionality too, and for like $40, like 50 or 60 regular price, I mean that's not bad.
Nope, not at all. If it was wireless and I can bring it with me, I'd be even more happy with it. Just bring it out to like a beach or a barbecue or something like that, would be awesome.
Oh, for sure. That would actually be really cool if they had like a rechargeable battery.
And I mean, you can get them, but like I just want one speaker. I don't want to have like 100 speakers in my house or anything. I just want like, if my puck could be rechargeable, Google do that, and I'll buy more.
For sure. So let's move on. We want to talk a little bit about, actually you kind of mentioned it more so, was talking about Moment.
Yeah, the company Moment lenses. I love them. I haven't purchased any of their gear yet, but I'm about to. I'm going to as soon as I get back from my trip. I wanted to buy it, but I don't think it'll be here before I go. So, but I've got they've got lenses for phones. They've got weights for the gimbals. just a lot of really high quality, awesome gear. But the thing I like even more about them is like the atmosphere that they put out there, like in their videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's awesome.
Yeah, I was looking at them at one point before I ever got a DSLR camera as possibly just getting a moment case and lenses to use instead. Then I have other angles. I ultimately went with the DSLR for, you know, the fact that it has a whole bunch of other options and you can kind of play with settings and stuff like that and pick around with different things. You can get more different lenses. Yeah. And I wanted something dedicated as a camera, right?
Yeah, you're never going to beat the well, I say never, but right now you're not going to beat a DSLR. I mean, we don't, I mean, the hydrogen's coming out, so
yeah.
Who knows, right? Like, we'll see what that thing happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, DSLR right now is no comparison, but you can't fit your DSLR in your pocket, and, well, I mean, well, you might be able to. I don't know how big your pockets are. Smaller mirrorless cameras, maybe, but
yeah,
you're just never gonna get
a little Sony
portable
mirrorless camera or something.
Yeah, I mean, mine's about as small as it gets.
Yeah.
Without the lens, or if I had a pancake lens, I could put that in my pocket. But your phone is always on you, and like the lenses are so small that I would keep them in my bag all the time. I am super excited to get some of their stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can have like 3 or 4 of those lenses, and actually they'd be small enough that you could just toss them in your pocket, kind of thing.
You really could, yeah,
right?
For sure. And I think for me, like their wide lens is the go-to for sure, just for like vlogging and general capturing any kind of photography. Mm-hmm. The wide lens is the best in between.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not a big fan of the superfish style, like skateboarder style. That's not my like
It suits
GoPro
a certain type of.
Yeah, like maybe if I was biking or something, I'd like, you know, that'd be cool, or like jumping into a pool, but. I think the wide is awesome, and the macro lens is also crazy.
Yeah, it is actually.
Like, I seen a video of a close up of somebody's eye, and it was a video, of course, too, but it was like crazy that you can get that with your phone.
Yeah.
The lens I'm hands down most excited for, and I will get as soon as it drops, is the anamorphic lens.
Oh, the anamorphic lens looks really cool.
They have the final production done, and that thing is awesome. I love that cinematic look and the flares. I can't wait. Super
the flares you could get just put a little bit of water on your lens like that.
I don't know what I did. That wasn't even water. That was just luck.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason that video got corrupted, but it looked cool. Yeah, but the other side of Moment is they also have Moment's kind of travels. So they have setups where you can book photo trips with them, and I'm doing one hands down. I can't.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So Moment Travel has. Or there's Moment and like Moment Travel, and they have like all kinds of different trips throughout the year. Like there's one in Norway. I linked actually that was one.
Yeah, okay,
so that was Moment, and
I know it was Moment. Yeah, but I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you book completely through them. I think the only thing it doesn't cover is flights.
Okay.
But for what you're getting, like the Norway trip, I think is like 6 nights, 7 days, everything included besides the flights.
Right.
For like $2,900 or something like that. So and it's strictly a photo trip with really well-known photographers.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like I want to do that so badly, and I think it's so cool that they offer that. And on top of that, you get like lifetime discounts on their gear and stuff like that. But really cool. Awesome company, especially for the mobile side of things.
Yeah, it's really cool the way they've promoted themselves too. It's just like their biggest promotion is through like making videos on YouTube and posting photos on Instagram and things like that. So they're completely just like through social media.
And that ties into the next thing, which is it's crazy how you can build clientele and build a business strictly through social media. Like you need nothing else but, I mean, you can even get away with just an Instagram almost. Like,
there are some people that are have huge followings on Instagram, but you know, hundreds of thousands of people, maybe 1 million people following them on Instagram, but you know, a couple thousand people on Twitter and stuff like that. So like, but they're a huge name and they've made a good name for themselves.
It's crazy.
Just on Instagram. Yeah,
it's absolutely insane. And it's also exciting because that opens up doors for people who would never normally have the ability to create something that big.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's currently bigger than YouTube, I would imagine, for businesses specifically.
Probably. Yeah, for businesses specifically, because YouTube, I think, lends itself to actually making
a lot more work goes into YouTube.
Yeah, a lot more work usually goes into it. You can curate an Instagram with very minimal work. I mean, you can just take pictures with your phone. Quick little bit of editing just to
with their stories. You can have a little story throughout your day. You know, you keep in touch, or like, you know, if you want to have a little 3-part series mini story on a travel trip, you do it through Instagram.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know,
it's so easy. And you can, if you wanted to, too. You can use the IGTV stuff too, and even.
Yeah, I haven't delved into that at all, but
I don't know how that's gonna go. I've been looking at that, and I'm like, I don't feel like the vertical video is quite as natural.
No.
And I understand that Instagram is like, well, people are consuming things on their phone, they're gonna watch it vertical. Personally, I watch almost all of my YouTube on my computer, not on my phone, right? When I do watch it on my phone, I'm happy to turn it sideways because that looks natural to me, right? Yeah. I'll watch stories, but I don't think there should be anything more than
like 15 seconds.
15 seconds, or if you want to string a couple stories together to say a few things, a minute or something like that.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to use IGTV, you should, I don't think it should be any more than 2-3 minutes kind of thing for.
No, I can see content. It for like mobile ads and stuff like that. It'd be great, but I don't see that ever taking over YouTube. Like, no chance.
That was the question when they first announced it. It was like, would it ever be able to really compete with YouTube? Because that was kind of the intention, it seemed. Yeah. Right. Was that this is where people are going to post their content rather than YouTube? Yeah. Like, I don't think that's quite going to happen.
You just can't capture as much of the story you're trying to tell.
Yeah, especially if you were trying, you can't really do a vlog type thing because you don't have that wide,
that wide angle.
Wide angle, right?
Yeah, you can't capture. I mean, you don't want to vlog with just somebody's face, and I feel like if you're shooting vertical, you're just going to get their body.
Yeah, it's hard to really get much without really having like a really wide angle lens. Like this particular camera we're shooting this video on, if you're watching on YouTube, yeah, okay, you'd get a. You'd be all right here because you'd get a little more because it's such a wide angle. But this is a really wide angle lens we're shooting. This is 10 millimeters, right, and a wide angle. Yeah. Right. You could do it with this. Anything else?
No.
Okay. So you wouldn't be able to do that with your phone.
Plus, then you're cropping down. So I mean, if you want, I mean, I'd imagine if you were away from your camera, and then you could get some more in. But if you're cropping down to that smaller 5x3 or whatever, 5x4 or whatever it is, then yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about it. We'll see where that goes, I guess. Yep. Really.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, so another cool thing, another kind of what's the future going to hold is electric vehicles. Yeah. And that encompasses a huge amount of areas, whether it be electric cars, skateboards, scooters, anything nice that mentions.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing right now, of course, is moving into electric cars and seeing where companies obviously like Tesla, and then you see other companies. I mean, you see GM doing a few things, you see Volkswagen doing some stuff, you see Hyundai doing stuff.
You know what I'm most
Nissan,
excited
right?
for?
They're all making
Volkswagen's bus. That is what I'm most excited
supposed to be making an electric bus. That'll be really neat to see.
They had their prototype, I mean, look, their concept car looked amazing, but I'm excited for that. I would like to be on that hype train.
Yeah, I think the only thing that Volkswagen's got right now is an e-Golf. We're in a Golf right now. It's not an e-Golf.
No.
But the e-Golf looks, and that's the coolest thing about the e-Golf to me is like a lot of electric cars look like electric cars. Yeah. And that's one thing that Tesla's done well too, is that it doesn't look like an electric car.
Yeah, you can.
Right.
It doesn't look Tesla, but
it doesn't look like a futuristic car per se, like that you picture in the Jetsons.
Until you get in them.
Until you get in it.
Electric cars, just as a whole, tend to be a lot more futuristic inside.
Yeah. Well, I've watched. Since I've got a Volkswagen Golf here. This is 2018, so this is new. So I was looking at different reviews and stuff, and I saw some stuff on the e-Golf when I was looking into this car and stuff too, and after when I was just watching stuff on it because I was interested. And I saw some stuff on the e-Golf, and biggest difference on the interior, because the actual like cabin itself, the interior is pretty well the same, but all the gauges, everything, completely digital. Yep. Digital, everything, climate control. Nothing digital. Was dials and stuff like that. It was completely digital. So it was really cool to see something so much more futuristic. Like they were just kind of taking all the stuff that we do have now, but it's just more expensive to implement, and they're putting it in there because it's an electric car.
Yeah, I mean the price point of electric cars are a bit higher right now, just in general. You're not getting an electric car for less than probably 40,000 Canadian, I would say, by the time
it's all pretty close, yeah.
I'm not sure what the cheapest. I know
probably the Nissan Leaf.
Yeah, the Leaf, and I think that's still like 32,000.
Yeah, you're still up.
So by the time you actually buy it and get everything settled, you're up to the 40,000 mark. So versus probably 23,000 for the equivalently equipped. Maybe. Now, probably more, because I don't know, just in general, they seem to have more tech in them, just as a starting package.
Yeah, they do. I think, in reality, they're not that much more expensive. I think the biggest thing to make an adjustment for, though, and the big other expense, is that For most people, you would want to put a charging station in your house.
It's not even viable for people who rent unless their renter is, because I mean it's a process and it's expensive. So
because that's the thing, you can plug into just a regular 110 outlet. Right. But it would take most cars. It takes like almost a full day then to charge. So that's just not realistic to be able to do.
No, not at all.
Right. So you need to get those higher voltage supplies. And that's a big installation thing and a high cost of a couple $1,000s to put in.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla's is like $15,000.
Tesla's is really expensive. I know the Volkswagen ones are a lot cheaper. They're around like $1 or $2 grand.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's reasonable. But if you don't own your own home, you know, you can't really do that.
No, exactly.
And a huge portion of people rent. Like, for me, that's the big concern is where am I charging my car? Exactly.
And the other thing, too, is like if I was to do that, I mean, especially here, there's not a lot of people that have, you know, a garage attached to their house or where they park their car at all, right? Most cars here are just parked outside all the time, so usually you want to have that inside.
Yeah, like right? I don't know how I'd feel about just leaving my charge station
and especially
outside
here too.
And plugged in.
Yeah, I mean, especially here. I mean, you're in Canada. You get snow in the winter.
That's the next biggest concern is the cold. Like
the cold, I think with the car itself isn't an issue.
They're getting it so much better.
I've seen a lot of stuff with Teslas driving in the snow and stuff, and they just seem actually great for driving in the snow.
Yeah, can you heat your cabin? That's the biggest concern with these like the cheaper cars that are coming out, the ones that are more reasonable for people. If you're in a cold climate, can you heat your car? Yeah,
for sure. That's one thing that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Other electric vehicles though, besides just cars, because we're talking about cars a little bit. Obviously, skateboards are huge. Electric skateboards. Boosted is just killing it. I mean, they're doing so well. They released a few new boards not long ago, and
They're seems the Tesla
like
of skateboards.
and it seems like that's kind of the way that a lot of people, especially in like bigger cities, you don't see it so much here because we're in a driver city.
Yeah,
right.
You have to drive here
pretty well. Like if you don't drive, you're a couple hours trying to get from where you're trying to go on a bus.
Is bad. But if I was in a city, I don't want to drive. Like I wouldn't want to.
That's my thing. Like I could potentially see myself in a place like Toronto or something. You know, in the next few years, and I wouldn't use my car on a daily basis. I want to have my car. That's my problem too.
Yeah, no, I want a car.
You know, I want to have a car. So, and that's the problem. Is like, can I afford to bring a car and park it all the time, right? If I lived in the city, but
you need a car to bring all your stuff.
I do because I carry a lot of stuff everywhere.
Yeah,
like, I've always got a backpack or two with full stuff
and a trunk and like underneath the seats probably have some tech hidden.
Yeah, don't break into my car.
Yeah.
But yeah, like stuff like that, and then other stuff. I mean, like bikes, of course. Electric bikes have been a thing for a while now.
And they're actually halfway practical in the winter if you have like a fat bike with some sort of tires.
Yeah, you know, they certainly can be.
Especially our winters, I think.
Yeah, our winters aren't too bad. Like we get a lot of snowfall here.
But
in St. John's, you get a lot of snowfall. It's some of the most in Canada, actually.
Yep.
In terms of total snowfall. But how much snow is on the ground at one point in time is not all that much because it melts a lot, right?
It'll be like 3 feet of snow one day and none the next day.
Yeah, so, it just melts like
you get a lot of
crazy.
Slush.
Yeah.
And usually everything shuts down anyway, so you know.
Yeah, you don't even go around on that day, and then everything's cleared up enough that you're able to get around the next day, kind of thing.
Yeah.
The other big electric thing is scooters now.
Yeah.
Like the hype around, say, like bird scooters, and there's other ones called Lime scooters too.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a big thing now, mostly in like California.
People are freaking out about it.
And yeah, there's two completely split sides, and I'm kind of in between, so I see both points to it.
Yeah.
Right. People really love them because they're an easy way to get around. It's convenient because there's just one around the corner there somewhere, and it's cheap. And
you don't have to worry about it. It's not yours to worry about.
Yeah.
It's another big thing too.
But I understand the other side of it. They're an absolute nuisance to people living in those areas because people will, you know, rent one of those scooters kind of thing, and they'll ride it to wherever they need to be.
Yep.
And at least with the bird ones, I think the Lime ones are the same. You can literally just drop it anywhere.
You just leave it, and you're.
And then someone's supposed to be able to go get it again.
Yep. So there's just scooters like laying everywhere.
Just electric scooters everywhere.
I'm just imagining. I want to experience what it's actually like. Like, I think I'd use that service so much.
Yep.
But I think there needs to be stations or some way.
There does. Like, well, in a lot of big cities too. There, you know, there's like, I know Toronto's got the city bike.
Yeah.
And New York's got similar type of things. A lot of big cities do.
Yeah.
Right? Where you can just go and you pay a couple dollars and get it, or you can actually get memberships. I think things where you can like rent it for like a month, like thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like a bus pass, right?
Yep.
And you know, if that were the case where it went into this kind of rack and you had to drop it off to one of these racks, and until you did, you kept getting charged.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's the way it has to be.
Probably, to keep it from, like, complete anarchy.
Yeah.
And also,
and that's what's happened with some of those bird scooters. People are making, like, statues out of bird scooters stacked up because there's that many just lying around.
And where do you charge them? Like, how do they get charged? Who's
And that's the thing. A lot of they just die.
Yeah, and nobody uses it.
And no one goes and charges them.
Yeah, so you just probably grab the bird scooter and it's dead, and then move on.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. We haven't been there. I'd like to experience it firsthand, but in theory, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
In practice, it probably needs a bit more work.
It definitely does.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. So, I think we've got time for one more topic, probably. One more quick one.
I think we're kind of going to clue it up here. Mostly, last thing I want to touch on, really, I guess, was, or we want to touch on was, I guess, plans for the podcast and our personal channels, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the podcast right now is on YouTube if you're watching the video. It's also, right now, is live on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, a couple others, Stitcher, I think. The one place we haven't got it up yet is on Apple Podcasts. That'll be coming very soon. Yeah. We'll make sure to be getting it up there soon because that, of course, is a huge podcast platform.
Yeah.
But basically all the other big platforms, they're covered right now.
Which is awesome.
It's just really sick. So what we're thinking too is we're going to try to keep these to like around a half hour. We've kind of, after going through the first podcast, it was a bit more than that.
Yep.
That's where we're trying to land.
I think it's a sweet spot for podcasts.
I think it's a good spot for podcasts. It's a good spot for us in terms of what we want to talk about too, and just kind of the general news in the area. Of course, sometimes it could go longer depending on what's going on. I mean, what if you get like 4 smartphone announcements in a week? Oh my God. You got to talk about them all.
We're there for 5 hours just talking about it. But I mean, yeah, of course.
Right.
So 30 minutes seems pretty great.
Yeah, so we're going to try to...
And we'll start promoting it on our own social medias as well. So I've completely rebranded my social media. Like, completely. Mobile Travel Nerd. That's what I'm going with. Yeah. For now. Yeah. It might change again, but I'm going with it. I'm just going to start promoting some stuff. I'm focusing on the mobile side of things. First videos are going to be out, hopefully. I want to have one out by next week. So. Yeah.
I haven't done the rebranding thing. I'm going to stick with kind of the brand I've got right now, but I've got my vlog channel. I've got 2 different personal YouTube channels. I use one mostly for just random videos that I'm doing for different things in the community or things I'm doing with family, things like that. So I kind of focus that one there more so. But I've also got my, what was mostly my vlog channel. It's kind of just becoming more of a general personal channel. Yeah. Bit of vlog, bit of like tech stuff too. And I think my big focus there is going to be primarily on like photography, different things in that regard. And I'm also working on building out my, trying to redo my website in a little bit of a way that I can kind of promote my photography there too.
Yeah, and that's why I'm working on my website as well. So hopefully that'll be a good place to consolidate it all.
Yep, and everything will kind of run through there, through each of our websites.
Some affiliate links and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Try to take it full time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the dream.
That is the dream.
Full-time content creator of some sort.
Yeah.
I don't care what I'm doing, just having fun.
Yeah, I just want to make some videos, take some pictures,
produce some good content. So
probably make some podcasts, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably focus on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done it.
Try to get this done every week.
One, so I'm happy.
This is the second one. There'll definitely be one coming next week. Week after that, you'll be gone. So we'll see what happens there. May end.
Podcast from Dublin.
we could do a Skype podcast. We could make that happen.
Probably. I think I'll be in Dublin. Yeah, maybe. It's either Dublin or London, and then the following week I'll be in Spain. So we can do that.
we could probably figure this out, I think.
Yes, but follow that on my Instagram. I'm going to be posting so much. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Put all my mobile tech to use.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, I think that's about all we have time for today.
Yeah, definitely. Be sure to, of course, like we said, check us out on Instagram at ACSnook, at Mobile Travel Nerd, sorry. MTN. MTN, Mobile Travel Nerd.
Yeah.
AC Snook, Mobile Travel Nerd. Check us out on Instagram. My Twitter is also the same. And check out our personal YouTube channels. They're all linked in the description below. All the gear we're using is linked in the description below. Be sure to check that out. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace out.
Peace.